Mr. Piperea, you are a member of the European Parliament of Romania, and Romania is in the center of a thunderstorm because the elections for the presidency were cancelled in December under pressure of the European Commission. A historical event never seen before in Europe, a kind of dictatorship. What really happened?
I don't know what really happens because I am completely astonished, even after 1 month of waiting the evidences about the so-called Russian interference. And what we can see in this moment is the fact that a party which is called National Liberal Party, is suspected of financing this TikTok campaign of another candidate in order for another candidate not to be the second. I'm speaking about Georgescu and George Simion. And what is completely shocking for me in this moment is the fact that Mr. Thierry Breton, an ex-commissary of the European Commission, an ex-colleague of Frau von der Leyen, declared directly and with no possible interpretation the fact that they did it in Romania so they could do it in Germany in case the German voters will vote something else than this establishment, political establishment, want to have. Let me say you something. In that week after the decision of the Constitutional Court of Romania, I said that something like this. I said also to my colleague, Europarlamentary. I said also to the Venezia Commission, and I said it also to the European Court of Human Rights. Romania is for the last now 18 years a member of the European community. So is a full member of this European community. If this kind of things, a cancellation of a whole electoral process happened in Romania, this is possible also for Germany, for France, for Netherlands, for Poland, for all the other 26 members of the European Union. So what Mr. Thierry Breton said 2 or 3 days ago, exactly this, exactly the fact that the European bureaucracy, the European establishment will do the same in Germany because they did it in Romania. And this is completely shocking because, you know, the European Treaty of the European Union specifically says in the article, practically in the first article of this treaty, the fact that all European democracies are democracies based on representation, representative democracies, and also all the constitutions of the EU's member states, including the Romanian constitution, says that the national sovereignty belongs to the people. And this sovereignty is exercised, is active through the elected member of these people. And this election process should be correct and should be honest and should be democratic. And we do have nothing like this in this moment in Romania. And this is like a contamination, like a virus. This could contaminate all the European Union, including Germany and France.
Thank you. Perhaps for our German viewers, some more information. Mr. Gheorgescu was the winner of the first round of the elections end of November. And the second round was scheduled for the end of December. And the surveys gave him up to 58 or 64%. And then the second round was cancelled. What makes Mr. Gheorghe so scary for the global elites?
You know, those people thinks about this guy Georgescu. You know, Georgescu is not as important as a person. Georgescu is important as an idea. They think the fact that if somebody like Georgescu, person which was not very well known in Romania, yeah, before the election, could shake so much the establishment, this means that this establishment is not so powerful, is weak. And they are afraid of people in this moment because of the fact that they are afraid of their weakness, because they are weak and they are stupid. And they are decided to keep their power, including in this very undemocratic way. And let me tell you something else about the motivation. You know, in undemocratic regimes like Russia, like Belarus, like Venezuela, like China, there is this rule that nobody which is not guaranteed by the parallel state, the deep state, I mean the securistic state, the secret service controlled state, nobody which is not guaranteed by this system could go to power. And we don't like this. In Europe, we don't like what happened in Russia, Belarus, Venezuela, China. We always condemn what happened in Russia. For example, the fact that Mr. Putin is 3 times, 4 times president of Russia, and Mr. Xi Jinping is a president for life of China. We don't like this. We don't like Maduro, for example, in Venezuela. But what happened with this decision on the 6th of December is the fact that we had Mr. Iohannis, which is a German ethnic Romanian citizen. Mr. Iohannis, we have it in this moment, we had him, I'm sorry, in this moment, as a sine die president. So this means that if the establishment will decide to postpone the new elections, Mr. Iohannis could stay there forever. And this is the same like in Russia, Belarus, Venezuela, China. And this is a virus which could spread also to Germany, to France, to Netherlands, to Italy, all over the European Union. We cannot accept this, because if we accept this, we might see, for example, Mr. Scholz being Chancellor of Germany with only, I don't know, 15% of the votes. Also, we could see Mr. Macron being again and again president of France because of the fact that he is young. You have to remember that 2 years ago in France, it was a very big debate and scandal about the fact that Mr. Macron says, look, I am young, I am good, I am very nice, I am very beautiful. Why shouldn't we modify the constitution, the French constitution, in order to give me the power to be re-elected 3 times, 4 times, whatever I wanted to do, because I am good, because I am beautiful, because I am young. Look, motivations, yeah? What you could have motivation. For example, Frau von der Leyen said that it doesn't matter the fact that she is in this moment under a penal investigation of a Belgian prosecutor in front of the Belgian tribunals about that involvement of her in Pfizer business with the so-called vaccines. And what happened with this establishment is the fact that they said Frau von der Leyen is the best of us, so she must stay in power. you know, it doesn't matter the fact that somebody is called Macron, somebody is called von der Leyen, somebody is called Johannes. It's not about names here. It's not about persons. It's about idea. And the democratic system means changement, means change. You understand? And democratic system means what we dreamed in 1989. We Romanian, we went to revolution in order to change the communist regime. And what happened in Europe in this moment? We came back to communist regime. Which means that we don't have the right to choose. They are entitled, only them are entitled to be on power, and we don't have the right to speak, and we don't have the right to have an opinion, and we don't have the right to ask questions to the people in power. This means communism.
Mr. Piperea, yesterday on the 12th of January, there was a big demonstration in Bucharest. How many participants were there, and what were the main slogans?
Yeah, you know, there is a debate in Romania. I think, you know, because you have the same situation in Germany with the mass media mainstream. MSM, I'm sorry, mass media mainstream said that there were something about 15,000-20,000 people. But I invite you to look at the photos and to look at the small movies. The internet is now flooded by these images. And you can see that, you may see that there were something around 100,000 participants to this protest. So it's a huge protest. It never happened something like this until February 2017, when people went to streets to protest against corruption, against corruption. Yeah, and we are speaking about the political corrupted system. What these people asked, what these people protested for: democracy and freedom. Look to all the photos, look to all the small movies, and you will see that nothing else were on the street except the democracy and freedom. No political complaints, no political ideas and programs, only request for democracy and freedom. What have these people from the European establishment learned from this? The fact that the people in this moment is awakened. You cannot lie these people. You cannot continue to steal their will. You have to comply with the will of the people, because otherwise all infrastructure and all superstructure, political system in Europe will collapse if not. And I'm sure that you will have the same situation in February in Germany, because as you could imagine, Mr. Thierry Breton and people like him will not accept the idea that somebody will replace Mr. Scholz, will replace the so-called democratic pro-European parties. They will not accept this, and you will have probably protests like in Romania, maybe much more than people than in Romania. And I can tell you something else. This protest will not stop. This process will continue at least 1 month before Mr. Iohannis will go home. Yeah, because he is illegally occupying in this moment that throne. And let me tell you something else. You know, I can feel on my own skin this experience, because I am an MEP, Romanian MEP, and I can see that all of the things which are done in that parliament is governed not by the idea of democracy and freedom of speech. It's governed by the idea of the so-called sanitary belt, cordon sanitaire. There are 3 kinds of big parties. I'm speaking about the populars, I'm speaking about Social Democrats, and I'm speaking about the Renew, and they do anything they want, keeping us, the rest of us, in the exterior of practically all the decision, because we are considered as being able to contaminate, contaminate the institutions of the European Union. What kind of democracy is this? When you choose to give power to a part of the will of the people, and in the same time you choose to cut the voice of the other people, because we represent here in Romania something around 35% of the votes. This means that a third of the population voted for us, and because of the fact that I don't have a voice in the European Parliament, this third of the population in Romania don't have a voice in the European Parliament. This doesn't mean representative democracy. This is practically dictatorship, it's totalitarianism. And it's the same with Rassemblement National, which is a party in French considered as being extreme droit. It's something similar to Romania. 35% of the French people voted for Marine Le Pen, and they don't have voice in the European Parliament. And I think it's the same with Alternative für Deutschland. As I remember, they get something like 19-20% of the votes in the European elections on the 9th of June 2024, and they don't have voice in the European Parliament. So a fifth of the population in Germany don't have their voice heard in European Parliament. We cannot continue like this, because otherwise this construction, which is a legal construction, which is a beneficial construction, it's a construction for commerce and economy, and it's a construction for peace and the well-being of the people of Europe, will collapse.
To the next future, is it possible that the highest constitutional court orders the repetition of the elections for presidency, and Ceausescu could become the next president? Is this possible, or will they block and cancel everything like in December?
Theoretically, the Constitutional Court could withdraw this decision of the 6th of December, saying that there are no evidences of statal ingerences. There are not the evidences of the manipulation of the voters. So they could theoretically revalidate the first round of the election, and they could order the restart of the second round. But I'm afraid that this will not happen. I'm afraid that because of the fact that practically all the legal kind of action, all the legal tools were put in place, and they gave up to them and they rejected them, maybe we will have another election starting from zero. I don't know when, maybe in May 2025, maybe in September 2025. But the most important things to keep in mind is the fact that Mr. Iohannis will still be president of Romania, illegitimate, of course, but still president. And think about the fact that there are European institutions, when president like Mr. Iohannis were before the 21st of December, is working with presidents. Think about Mr. Scholz, or think about Mr. Macron being forced to work with Mr. Iohannis, which is not a legitimate president. But anyway, the people in this moment are so determined to throw away this establishment, then they are afraid of having Mr. Georgescu, a president of Romania, from the first round with something like 65–70% of the votes. This much is in this moment the will of the people to change this regime. So it doesn't matter the fact that the election will start from the first round or will start from the second round. The important is that the people, at least in my opinion, the people in Romania in this moment is decided to change this establishment. And that's a good idea. And that's a good news because this means democracy in action.
And do you think that when, if democracy will still be cancelled in Romania, that the people will start with strikes and a kind of revolution like in 89?
I hope not. I hope not, because the Romanian Revolution in 1999 was a violent one. It was a lot of deaths and a lot of injuries. And it was something which was corrected in 15 years. I don't want to restart this from zero. I hope that those people will realize that their time is over. And I hope that these people will see the fact that all over the world, and especially in Europe, the idea of globalism, which is totalitarianism practically, the idea of bureaucrats which are completely linked to change to the thrones of the power, it's over. I hope that they will realize the fact that people do want solidarity, do want peace, do want economic improvement and economic growth, but they don't want anymore people like Soros, people like Tedros, people like Bill Gates, people like von der Leyen to tell them how to live, how to survive, how to eat, what to eat, who to believe, and who to love.
Okay.
This is all.
Mr. Piperea, thank you very much for your interview for Compact. We will distribute it widely in Germany, and we should be and stay in contact for the future, for the fight for freedom and democracy. Thank you very much, and let's go on. Yes.
Thank you very much, myself, and I do hope that you will change the way is doing the democracy in Germany on February election. And I wish you success.